Hello everyone and welcome back to another movie analysis where I give you the basic rundown of movies and or critically pick them apart. Today we are taking a look at the Hitchcock classic, The Birds. We will be going through picking apart plot points, breaking down scene construction and world building, as well as analyzing roles and tropes. That's the main meat of this video. As something new, check the description for timestamps of when I switch topics to save you time. If you're only interested in one of these topics, I know I ramble, and this helps get you what you want. But do not fret, those who see this movie as an untouchable classic, I will be doing two sides for every category. I will use this voice for a current analysis, and this for a 1960s appraisal of the movie. Since the film is about 60 years old, it would be asinine, I say asinine, to ignore the historical context of the film's settings and when it was made. Without further delay, let's get started with The Birds. A little bonus feature, I always talk about the plot at some point. This movie moved at the pace of a dying snail. It was 25 minutes until the first bird attack, 52 minutes for the second. We see the results of birds killing someone at around an hour in, but the movie doesn't even address there was an issue until an hour and 26 minutes into the movie. Being forced into this pace was painful. It took so long for anything to happen. This movie was wonderful for its constructive story building. It doesn't rush you into the story, instead misleads you, using a slow rise of tension with the viewer knowing that it is all going to collapse. By 1960 standards, this movie moves at a fast pace, with the first events taking place in the first half hour. Hitchcock shines again with yet another thriller masterpiece. The pace is a soft criticism because of the fact this movie was so old by modern standards. It's slow. 1960s terms, it's decently paced, and some would agree that it's fast. But this moves into the plot. Given that this movie is a horror/thriller, the story is one of the most important parts of it. Its plot was a canon of weird, not including the whole plot is centered around birds, but at least the film explains what a plague of birds would mean for humanity.
Get yourselves guns and wipe them off the face of the earth.
That would hardly be possible.
Why not, Mrs. Bundy?
Because there are 8,650 species of birds in the world today, Mr. Carter. It is estimated that 5,750,000,000 birds live in the United States alone. The 5 continents of the world
Kill them all, get rid of them messy animals.
probably contain more than 100 billion birds.
It's the end of the world.
AKA it would be bad. However, given the nature of the birds, would birds actually be lethal for humans? We know what a bird can do to a plane. They can absolutely take it down and damage it pretty well. If, and this is a big if, these are birds that have the intelligence to coordinate an attack against people, then I see no fault in the logic that they could sacrifice themselves by swarming a plane and clogging their engine. That would eliminate anything we could really do in the air, not to mention the population difference between birds and humans. Let's take a look at scene construction and world building for a time. As for story building, I had to research quite a bit about the 1960s culture. So, as for the South right now, it used to be acceptable to call your mother darling. That was just creepy to me. I felt awkward every time he did it. Also, according to
Margaret Horwitz,
in A Hitchcock Reader, she goes on to suggest all of Mitch's actions are signs that his mother possesses somewhat of an Oedipus complex toward him. The wild birds function as a kind of malevolent female superego, an indirect revelation of Lydia's character. She is a possessive mother, intent upon furthering a symbiotic, Oedipal relationship with her son.
Yeah, but, well, actually the newspaper said she was naked.
Yes, I know, dear.
Of course, it's none of my business, but when you bring a girl like that...
Darling,
Yes?
I think I can handle Melanie Daniels by myself.
Well, as long as you know what you want, Mitch.
I know exactly what I want.
If this ninny knew anything about how to be a gentleman and a good son, he'd know that you must show your mother the utmost respect and decency. Mitch exemplifies this to the highest standard, yet Melanie keeps playing hard to get. Wonder why he hasn't talked about her behavior yet. Melanie was supposed to come across as a spoiled woman, or a brat, who was used to getting what she wanted. I just saw her as a brat. A bitch. She was rude. She broke into a house, and as a joke, she was nothing but emotionless until the end of the film, when we actually get to see some true emotion as she's pecked, scratched, and attacked. Well, you seem to get one thing right. The roles and tropes of the movie. I'll take it over from here. Thanks to the heroism of Mitch, the day was saved. He rescued our damsel in distress and... What are you doing? Oh, I'm just wondering why Mitch wasn't the main character, but he was the hero. It seemed that Melanie was quite independent until she started hanging around Mitch, almost as if a man robbed her of her independence. She literally had to be led by the hand when the birds started attacking, but prior, she was just as outgoing as any other. So, why have the hero not be the main protagonist? Why have Mitch and his mother behave like a couple? Why... Okay, so since there is clearly a generation gap, let me explain it another way.
I doubt it would make much sense, but go on ahead. What do you have there?
So, I went ahead and rewrote the plot. How does this sound? The exact same movie... Good so far. But just swap the genders of every main character. Mitch is harassed at the bird store by Melanie. Mitch drives up to see her. Mitch breaks into her house. And watch a point. Mitch, however, is then attacked by birds and saved by Melanie and her father. How does that sound as a movie plot, Let me guess. Do you want the person who saves Mitch to be the father? Does the idea of a female hero saving a male sound ridiculous? Let me just state that watching our main protagonist become a side character in her own movie was flat out annoying. She had every trope of the main hero, going out on her quest to achieve a goal but wound up becoming the damsel in distress. I'm by no means what you would call a feminist, but I have a problem when you set up a main character as a main character and then swap their role to be the side character for no reason, other than the fact that they're a woman. Makes no sense to me. In other words, though, it's the 1960s in a nutshell, people. Guys, I've got more to say, but I'm going to save it for my scene breakdown videos. You guys really seem to like them, and I'm absolutely going to do more of them, especially one for this video. But that's going to do it for me. My name is That Analysis Guy. Follow me on Twitter, drop a like and subs for more videos, and I will see you all next time. Peace.